Hey everybody! In this video we're going to talk about testing an equation for symmetry about the axes and the origin. So how do we do this? Well, remember, if the point on the graph x, y exists, and so does the point x, negative y, what type of symmetry do we have? Well, that's like flipping it over the x-axis, so we have x-axis symmetry. If the point x, y, and negative x, y both exist on the graph for every single point, then we have the y-axis symmetry. Now, if we have the point x, y exists, that means also the point negative x and negative y exists, then we have, you guessed it, origin symmetry. So, in order to determine if this function is symmetric, what we're going to do is we're actually going to plug in some points. So, to test for symmetry, if it is symmetric with respect to the y-axis, if we plug in negative x for x, we're going to get the same equation out. For x-axis symmetry, if we plug in negative y for y, we're going to get the same equation out if it has that symmetry. Okay? To test for origin symmetry, what we're going to do is we're going to substitute negative x for x and negative y for y, and if we end up with the same equation or an equivalent equation, then we know it's symmetric about the origin. So let's go ahead and do that with this current problem. So the first one, to test for y-axis symmetry, let's plug in negative x for x. What do we get? Well, we end up getting y squared plus x plus 3 equals 0. That's different than our first equation, right? So we do not have y-axis symmetry. Sorry, that was testing for y-axis. We do not have y-axis symmetry. Now, let's go ahead and test for x-axis symmetry. Very similarly, what we're going to do is we're going to plug in negative y into our equation. And you can see what happens is a negative y squared, negative y times a negative y, turns positive. So what happens? Well, we get the same equation out. So we do have x-axis symmetry. Now what about origin symmetry? Well, plug in both negative y and negative x for our x's and y's. We're going to get a y squared plus x plus 3. That is not the same as our original, so we don't have origin symmetry. So the only one we do end up having for this one is x-axis symmetry. Okay, that is testing an equation for symmetry.